Hey guys, welcome back to episode 2 of the Tipsy
Whoop, whoop.
Hour. Whoop whoop. Today we are drinking our snazzy Malibu drinks. What do you guys have?
So I have this Malibu Splash passion fruit and coconut. And I
Ooh.
have to say, it is delicious. It feels like summer in a can. And for being a Floridian, it feels like summer all the time. But right now, it's actually a little chilly outside. So I am is it not? It was chilly outside yesterday. I
We're
haven't
not
been
in the same
outside.
Florida.
We're
Clearly, we're not in the same Florida.
Really?
It's not chilly
No.
at all. It's sunny and beautiful.
Are you kidding? I was hoping for chilly considering I'll be at Disney tomorrow.
I mean, maybe that's slightly north, so maybe you'll get like 5 degrees less.
Slightly north. Oh God. If we go from Miami to Orlando, it's a total of like a 2-hour drive. But
Alexa, what about you? What do you have?
I'm drinking the same thing, Malibu passion fruit. But
Nice.
this comes in a variety pack. So it comes with strawberry, lime, and what was the other one? I don't know.
something else.
I went a completely opposite way. I mean, not opposite, but Malibu doing the strawberry daiquiri. First time tasting it. Super good so far.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we want to talk about today is actually vacations. And I think, just kind of talking about, I went on this rant this week, you guys, because earlier this morning we were talking about what are we doing this weekend? And I was like, I am heading to hell. And they were like, what does that mean? And I know, Shaneck, I know you were going to say that. And I was like, well, I'm going to Disney. And like, that is my personal definition of hell, which is so funny because somebody else on the phone goes, we take our daughter to Disney every single year. And she's 3 and we've been taking her every year since she was 1. And I was like, oh my God, that's probably worse.
No. That's too much.
Right?
I can't believe you just said Disney is hell. Literally my favorite place to go.
I know that, but let me explain for everybody who hasn't been and for Floridians. As a Floridian, you go to Disney like you go to the beach. It is something that is there. You don't go all the time. You think you're going to go more often? You don't go all the time. You don't go to the beach all the time. It's there. It's available. It's accessible. It is like the easy thing to do, especially for us. We went to UCF, Alexa and myself. It was down the street. Like I could be at Disney in 2 seconds flat. However, it is full of people. It is so full of people. It is disgusting.
Nice.
What?
Not always. You have to pick the right times to go.
It's always full of people. That's
not.
a lie. Either way, it's full of people.
Unless it's in the middle of the year, not the middle of the year. I'm sorry, that would be summer, which is literally the
Summer's
pits of
dreadful,
hell.
I will say.
But if it's like the middle of the week in an obscure like season, then that's the only time it's not full. But I've rarely been there where it is not full of people.
You guys, no. Let me plan your Disney trips. Oh my goodness. First of all, you have to pick the right time to go, right days, and the right parks. Because sometimes you'll go and like it's a Magic Kingdom packed day, but every other park is completely empty. Like 2 weeks ago or something, these Figment popcorn buckets came out at Epcot.
Yes, did you see that?
Yes,
The lines.
there was lines for hours and hours wrapped around Epcot for people trying to get these Figment buckets. But guess what? Every single other park was completely empty. It was the best time to be there if you did not care about a stupid Figment bucket.
What you're trying to say is that I should care about stupid things like popcorn to plan my vacation to go to Disney.
Yeah,
that makes
100%.
No sense.
And that does make sense. It does.
You guys,
Alexa.
don't even. No, come on. And then the thing is, like, you go there to wait in lines in like the Florida sun. Like, don't tell me that even when you're getting the Figment popcorn buckets, they're waiting in line. You go and you wait in line. You wait in line to get in. Hold on. You wait in line to get in. You wait in line to go ride the thing. Every single one. If you see a 60-minute wait, it's a short wait. Okay. You're like, ooh, 60 minutes.
No.
So great. I can go right in. You're waiting an hour to go into a ride that is a total of 2 minutes flat. 2 minutes.
No.
You get 2 minutes of woo for an hour wait. How?
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it all wrong.
How? Okay, how are we supposed to do this right? Please tell me.
There are patterns, okay? You know, every time you walk into Magic Kingdom in the morning, everyone is going towards Tomorrowland. So what do? You go the opposite way where there's no people and 5-minute waits. When you're going to Animal Kingdom, everyone is running to Flight of Passage. So again, what do? You go the opposite way, get on your literal walk-on Dinosaur, get on Everest, ride it 5 million times before people have even gotten over Flight of Passage. And by the time you're there, the wait is not that long. There are ways to do Disney.
What is a not that long wait for you?
Like 10 minutes.
I've never seen Flight of Passage at 10 minutes, don't lie.
You're not doing it right.
Okay, either way, I feel like theme parks, you do it a couple times every couple years, and then that's it. You just on to the next thing, you know? But how many times can you really go to the same theme park? I can't do it.
A lot.
Why?
Actually, quite a bit. There's so much to do. Fine. And plus, once you become like an annual pass holder at Disney, I can't speak to Universal. I'm not that big of a fan of Universal. But once you become an annual pass holder at Disney, you know what you like to do when you get there, right? Like, you know the deal, you know what you want to ride, you know what shows you want to see. And every once in a while, things, you know, you switch it up, you bring a new person and you see it through their eyes, and it's just so much fun.
That part's true, fine.
But it hurts to hear that you're not a big, first of all, the only park worth anything is Universal Studios and Island of Adventures. That is the only part anyone should go to.
I used to love Universal. My problem with Universal in recent years is actual Universal Studios, not Islands of Adventure. Great. Islands of Adventure, I still think is super fun. There's a lot of rides there. And Universal Studios, you know, it has the piece of Harry Potter, which is really fun. But I feel like the rest of the park, like everything is closed.
Yeah, they got nothing going on.
Got nothing going on over there.
But yeah,
of course, when you go there, you have to buy both tickets if you want to see both sides of Harry Potter.
Yeah, you do. You cannot go to Universal or Islands of Adventure without both tickets. And what in the world is that in the background?
What do you mean?
You guys not hear that? Okay, sorry for everybody.
No, only you.
Either way, so that is so true. You have to go. You have to buy both tickets. But you know what? I think for me, the biggest issue is people who go every year and they're not taking trips outside of the state or even outside of the country. And I feel like when you compare an experience at Disney versus an experience of going to Europe, it is completely different. It is like on a completely different level. You can't even compare that.
Okay, I won't deny this, but have you been to Epcot?
Yes, unfortunately. Scam.
Lots of countries there.
Scam.
I will say that is something that is really interesting about theme park culture as compared to other places. People don't usually go to the same place around the world multiple times. Usually you go once and you kind of just check it off your list, unless you have like a summer house or a different property over there. But something about theme parks just keeps driving the same people back over and over again. Yeah. Like I can't think of multiple vacations where I'd say, you know what, I'm gonna go to that place every single year. It's a very, very slim list. And even so, it'd be maybe like for a weekend, not like doing the whole trip over again at this place every single year. And that's really interesting to me. I mean, is there a place that you guys would like to go to again that you've been to? Well, like I think a whole another 5 to 7 days.
Yeah, but I think that like when I think about that, I think about like countries. Like there's things in France I still have not done. Like I haven't been to the French Riviera. I haven't been to Nice. I haven't done that side of things. You know, I haven't gone to the castles in the Côte d'Or region. I haven't done stuff like that. Right. And I guess that
exact same place again and again and again.
Exactly. Like if I think about, you know, Italy, I haven't been to Lake Como. I haven't been to Cinque Terre. I haven't been to Verona. So like, I'm not thinking about, can I go back to Rome and do the exact same trip for 5 to 7? No, like never. If I go to Rome, I'm going to stop at my favorite little place in Trastevere. If you guys are ever heading to Rome, don't ever eat anywhere but Trastevere. Like that is the only region. It is the absolute best. It is absolutely delicious. There's this little place, it's called D'Enzo. If you can actually find a table and get in. Whenever and I don't know, Shaneck, if you heard the story, whenever Alexa and I went to Italy for the first time, or for our first time, and we went to Rome, somebody told us like the best food region in Rome is called Trastevere, which is like this little neighborhood. It is far away from everything tourist. It's literally just, Romans.
Food.
Yeah, Italians. And so we go there and we're like, is there anything specific? And the guy in the tab was like, no, just literally wherever you guys can find a table, just eat there. And we find this little restaurant that is empty. Like I am talking about, it has a total of probably 6 tables. It is the smallest little hole in the wall place with like 6 tables. And we just grab a table. And Rome is known for their pastas. So we order a carbonara and an amatriciana. And you guys, that pasta has changed my life. Like changed my life. I dream about that pasta. It's just the best pasta in the world, honestly. And it was so funny. I went back with my husband this year. It's his first time in Europe. And of course, I am like stalking the pictures of Alexis and my trip to like figure out where or what this restaurant was. And I seen a napkin. The restaurant's name is D'Enzo. So there's a picture of like, our plates, and there's a napkin, and D'Enzo's on there. So I'm like, perfect. So I look it up on Google. It looks exactly the same. What was interesting was we had gone to Paris beforehand, and I had met my cousin there. And she goes, oh, if you're heading to Rome, my favorite restaurant in Rome is D'Enzo. And I was like, oh, no way. Like, I'm not thinking anything about it. You guys, when we get to D'Enzo in Rome, the line was an hour wait. It felt like Disney. I was like, what is happening? There was a line, and we got there before the restaurant opened. And the line was already an hour wait.
I mean, that's great for them though.
Great for them. I mean, I'm hoping that they expand out of the 6 tables they still currently have. But if you ever do head to Rome, my one recommendation is to book yourself a table. Call for a reservation at D'Enzo. Have the carbonara. The people ahead of me were asking about the stuffed artichoke. That's what they were going there for. Apparently, it's like their big call to fame. We didn't even have that. We had no idea that this place had a call to fame.
Yeah, no, none.
So I feel like I missed out on the stuffed artichoke because apparently that was like the biggest thing.
Yeah. But I mean, going back to Alexa's question for a second, there is one place that I say I would go again and do all of the same things, and that was Thailand.
That's mine.
I
would go Thailand again.
Absolutely loved Thailand. We got robbed of a day when we first went there because of an airport nightmare.
Oh, please tell us the story.
Oh God, still to this day, I have PTSD about this airport nightmare. So basically, we get on our flight, and of course, with these like Groupon trips, there's always some weird stop somewhere. So we're supposed to be flying from LA to Beijing.
Yep.
And then stopping there for a couple hours and then hopping on our flight to Thailand. So we get on the flight. We're, I don't know, Shearly, maybe 2 hours from getting to Beijing, and over the speakers, you can barely understand what they're saying, but it was something along the lines of, yeah, it was something along the lines of, we can't go to Beijing because there's a problem with the air. There's too much smog. We can't land there. So they divert our plane to a tiny, tiny, tiny airport in God knows where, China, that only had planes half, maybe even less than half the size of ours. And we're asking like, is there anything, a flight that we can get from here to go back to Beijing? Like, how do we get out of this place? We don't even know where we are. And they're telling us, yeah, of course. No actual answers being given. 30 minutes, we're sitting there, time's passing, and they start going around and just asking people, American, do you have an American passport? Okay, come on, get out of the plane. We're like, oh, again, not
I was
safe.
like, Inglés, ¿qué es eso? No, español solamente. No.
Don't speak English.
Don't know what you're talking about.
And they make us stand there kind of just waiting to get out of the plane. And then again, an hour passes, 2 hours pass, and they're like, okay, fine. You guys can go back to your seats. We're going to fly back to Beijing. So we're like, yay, great. We fly back to Beijing. We literally land 20 minutes after our original flight left. And we are devastated. So of course, you know, it's nighttime at this point. It's probably like 11 o'clock at night. I don't even know. And they're telling us, okay, you guys, we're going to get you a hotel. It's going to be fine.
You're going to get dinner. And now, mind you, I just want to cut in here to say there was 2 reasons I was kind of like, okay, this is going to be fine. Number one, I had my Chinese visa because I had gone with Alexa the year before. So I was like, I can go to China because I have my visa, but they can't. I don't know about the rest of my family. You guys don't have visas. So I don't know what you guys are going to do, but I'm going to go to the hotel. Number 2, whenever we went to Europe, we went and we took Turkish Airlines, which to this day is still my favorite airline to ever fly on. And when you take Turkish Airlines and you have a layover longer than 8 hours, they take you to a hotel. And the hotel we stayed at was a 5-star hotel. Beautiful. It was incredible. So I'm thinking two things are correct, right? Number 1, I'm good to stay in China. Number 2, the hotel is going to be good. So with that, I'm going to take it back to Shaneck.
Yeah, unlike Shearly, the rest of our family was not good to stay in China. So we all had to go through the process of getting an immediate 24-hour visa. And again, the lines, because every single person on this plane that was American or not from China going anywhere else had to get the same visa. So the lines were super long. They were taking forever. This guy in the airport literally grabs my mom's passport and just walks away with it. And we have no idea where he went. So we're like, sorry, you're staying in this airport. We're going to go find our hotel at this point. But, you know, it's a super long process. We finally get through it. It's, you know, midnight and we go outside and they're telling us, run. The bus for your hotel is coming. Like, you guys are going to miss it. So we're rushing over there and then they put us to wait. So we're just standing outside and we're in front of, like, staring at these like Hiltons, Marriotts, right? So of course in our heads, oh, we're probably going to get put at one of these airport hotels.
100%.
Boy, were we wrong. We get put on this bus. We drive for 30, 40 minutes.
It's like 1 a.m. We haven't eaten food in a while. We're exhausted. I'm supposed to be in Thailand in my 5-star hotel, resting, getting ready to go see temples the next morning. Okay. So just so you guys know, I'm hella pissed. Like,
yeah, but you know, we're driving forever. We get to the hotel and there's armed guards outside. This place is falling. Like, how this place was still standing up makes no sense to me. We check in, there's literally like duct tape holding together the floors, holding together the ceiling. Like,
duct tape in the like a crack in the ceiling and a duct tape. Okay. Like, I was like, who put this together? My grandfather, because he loves duct tape. But like, this was crazy. It looks like I built it with IKEA stuff. Okay. That's where we were staying at.
Honestly, worse than IKEA stuff, let's be honest here. But yeah, that's where we were staying at. I was like waiting for the morning. They told us, like, in the morning, first of all, you're going to get breakfast. No. Don't eat it. Absolutely horrible. If they tell you that when you're staying at one of these hotels in China, run away as fast as possible.
Wrong. Hey, we went to China and I love those hotels. Like, I have been in Chinese hotels in Beijing that could put any hotel I've ever stayed at to shame. They were
not the kind of hotel we stayed at.
Not the hotel we stayed at, but there's good and bad hotels everywhere. However, that one was particularly bad. That was probably the worst hotel I've stayed at in my whole life. That wasn't even a hotel. I've stayed in hostels that were actually every hostel I've ever stayed at in my life.
They're great.
Was better than that. That was crap.
Wow. Yeah, no, I was just waiting for the next day for the bus to come pick us up and take us back to the airport. And that bus ride back was the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And Air China should still be ashamed. I mean, to this day, I literally will tell anybody who will listen, do not fly Air China, because God forbid you have to stay in a hotel and they're putting you up in that crap. I'm sorry. No, not okay. You know, they told us that so they told us, oh, you're going to get dinner, which they always do. They always give you some kind of credit because you haven't eaten in hours and it's, obviously not your fault. You guys, can I tell you, somebody came up to our room with a bowl of ramen noodles?
Not a bowl. Let's be honest. It was not a bowl. It was like a plastic cup, like cup of noodles.
Cup of noodles.
Not cooked or anything. And there was literally
Not a
no
microwave.
way to heat it up in this hotel room.
Yeah. My father boiled water in the coffee maker and used that to boil the cup of noodles that they gave us.
Oh,
and
I did not have a coffee maker.
Yeah, I think he was the only one that had a coffee maker.
I think so too.
Because I didn't, I was so over it that at this point I slept. Because the other thing is I was like, there might be bed bugs. Like, I don't know when was the last time this place was cleaned. I mean, they have duct taped the ceiling. At this point, I all things go. So I slept on top of the bed, on top of a towel, like a mummy. I was like, I just need to get out of this right now. And I need to go to Thailand because I don't want to be here.
But I will say, once we got out of that nightmare, made it to Thailand, it was probably one of my favorite trips we have ever done.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it.
It was
awesome. The experience with the elephants is just something that you're not going to get anywhere else. Yep. It's so unique. It's so incredible. It's beautiful. And the temples, gorgeous.
Temples were amazing.
Oh my God. We went to Koh Phi Phi and we had a beautiful hotel there that was on it was on kind of like a half moon kind of bay that led out into the water, and it had so many mountains everywhere, and it had the infinity pools and swim up bars, and then it was just gorgeous. You could literally go from into the ocean and into the pool and into the ocean. It was great. Amazing. And then the diving in that area was out of this world. So yeah, that was one of the ones that's up there in beautiful places to go. For sure.
Definitely need to go back.
Talking about diving, one of my favorite diving destinations ever was actually Colombia. So we found this trip on Groupon, and we keep talking about Groupon, and then there's Travelzoo. And if you guys are not familiar with these websites, you guys, we literally travel using those all the time, and every trip we've ever taken is amazing. Some of the companies that really stand out to me is like Gate One Travel, Exotica, Rewards Travel China. So there's a couple of companies that we just have Travel by Jen that we've kind of taken again and again. Either way, so we find this trip to Colombia, and it's $399 per person for 4 days, 3 nights. It's to Cartagena. And I've been wanting to go to Cartagena. Alexa had been wanting to go to Cartagena. So I called her up and I was like, hey, found this trip. It's $399 per person. At $400, you spend more in a weekend in Miami. You do. You know what I mean? And this trip was inclusive of airfare. It was inclusive of hotels, breakfast. And that's what we knew at the time. And so we buy this trip for $400. Worst case scenario, we're going to hate it. And we're not really going to hate Colombia. You know what I mean? So we go there, and I want to say the first thing that was crazy to me was we get there and this guy is waiting for us at the airport with both of our names on there. And he was our private chauffeur for the weekend.
Amazing.
Which is
we were not expecting that at all. All. We thought we would get a cab when we got there to our hotel, and that was just going to be it. But no, yeah, they were waiting with signs.
Then we go to this beautiful hotel. The hotel was outside of the city, not the city, but the city, La Ciudad Murallada, which is the walled city of Cartagena, but it was at the beach. So we go to this hotel and we go up to our floor, and it's a beautiful room overlooking the ocean. It's absolutely gorgeous. The next day, they pick us up to give us a tour of Cartagena, where we're able to go up to the mountain. We're able to go see other, different sites. I don't think I was supposed to tell you that we went up to the mountain, because at the time we weren't supposed to go up to the mountain.
Is that illegal?
And we convinced them to please take us to the mountain. And she did. And she did. So we went up to the mountain and we saw the beautiful city down below. And there's a beautiful church up in the mountain. And it was gorgeous. However, what was my core memory, absolutely core memory, was the next day we go to what they call Las Islas Rosarios, which is a set of islands. And we went to La Isla del Encanto specifically. And we picked that one just because I think Alexa's is Puerto Rican, and they usually call Puerto Rico La Isla del Encanto. And literally that's the only reason why we picked it. Like there was no other reason.
Oh, sounds like Puerto Rico. Okay, we'll go there.
Right. And this was like
no bias at all.
Right. And this was like a $20 or $30 excursion. And it included
it was so cheap.
It was so cheap. So we go out on a boat to the island, and there's like a hotel in the island, and they have pools and they have restaurants. You guys, all of the food and all of the drinks are included for that initial price. So it's basically like staying in an all-inclusive for the day, which was incredible. But they have scuba diving. And there's a back history to the scuba diving story.
Scuba diving is really, really fun for us because we tried to we got our scuba diving lessons initially or our certification initially, because we wanted to go dive Silfra in Iceland. And basically during our whole certification process, we rushed it along because we had a deadline that we were going to go be in Iceland by, and we wanted to make sure that we had this certification by then. So our instructor was like, oh, it's choppy waters. Oh, I don't know if we can take you out. And we're like, no, listen, we really need this. So you have to take us out. Yep. Long story short, we basically died in that ocean that day. And yeah, and what we didn't know is that basically gave Shearly PTSD. Okay.
I just want to make sure that you guys understand what we were called. We went into the water not realizing we could inflate our BD at the time. Okay, that's dumb. So we went in with 80 pounds of weight into an ocean that was 3-foot swells and 8 knots in the opposite direction we were diving.
Yeah.
And Alexa and I were holding each other's hands, and if you can picture this, one of our bodies is going up while the other body is going down, and one of the bodies getting thrashed around, and we're getting thrashed around in 10,000 different ways. And we're doing this for about 10 minutes before somebody yells out at us, inflate your BD. And we were like, oh.
Okay, well, that makes things easier.
Floated right back up because we're going into the deep water and we're trying to swim against the current. Stupid. So, we get there, we don't know how to equalize our ears yet. So we're trying to like go into these 30-foot, dives, and our ears are throbbing. We didn't even know that was a thing. It was bad. So somebody called us, and this word is not kosher, so I'm going to change it. Somebody said we looked like stupid seals. The animal.
Like flopping around, not able to do anything for themselves. And we're like, That's how we felt also.
Yes. So we go in, and just like Alexa said, turns out I have PTSD. I did not realize this at the time.
Now, mind you, before this, I was the one who was worried about diving because after that last dive, I had a huge seizure, like the worst. I'm prone to seizures. So I had the worst seizure of my life. So when we were talking about doing diving, I was like, I don't know if the seizure had anything to do with it. I highly doubt it. But what if I seize and something happens here in freaking Colombia? Do you even know the 911 number here? And Shirley's like, maybe we shouldn't do that.
Right.
So we got there and we decided to do it finally because what the hell, we're here in Colombia. We're going to die.
And somebody told us this is the second largest barrier reef in the world. So it was like, Florida is the third. This is the second. We can go down. We dove in Florida. This is the second. And only the first remains, right? The Great Barrier Reef. So Alexa's like, fine,
I'll do it. We'll do it. So we go onto this little boat and they're like, okay, who knows how to swim? And we're like, this is a trip to dive. Shouldn't everyone know how to swim? What the heck? And they're like, okay, non-swimmers over there, you're going to go snorkeling instead. And we're like,
we needed certifications for this, right? Like, how did you get us? Because the first part of my certification was in a pool. We had to go in a like basically Olympic side pool and do 10 laps, and one lap was one back and forth. And I was like, how did you get through that part?
You guys not know how to swim.
You don't even know how to swim, and they're gonna send you to go snorkel. Shouldn't you still know how to swim for that?
Right.
So
Right.
it was weird. Either way, they're like, okay, and now the people who are gonna dive come over here. So we go, and they're strapping us up with all of our equipment, and you're in a boat, so you have to jump out. This is something we hadn't done before. We had walked into oceans previously, so we were already a little like, how are we gonna get all this equipment on? You have to like roll over and do all this crazy stuff.
And I just want to say that at this point, they asked if anybody had certifications, and only the two of us did. So they were like, oh, you guys are my experienced people. I'm going to go help them out. Right.
And we're like, no, trust us. We need help. We need all the help, actually.
That's not going to be fun.
I will say though, dying on a trip seems on brand for the two of you guys.
It does. It is on brand. But
it is very on brand, which is what scared us.
Yeah.
So yes, I jump out of the boat and I'm like, not fine, but I'm not dying, right? And Shearly's in the boat and I see her jump out of the boat. Can I tell you, her body barely hits the water before she goes into full panic attack. Freaking out. Now, mind you, I'm like all the way over there in the water. So by the time I freaking doggy paddle over to her, she's like 2 minutes into the panic attack. And the guy is next to her, the travel guide, and he's like, he doesn't know what to do with her. He doesn't know what to do.
I feel fully claustrophobic. I have 80 pounds of equipment. I don't know how to do. And I am in this ocean and I'm gonna die because last time that this happened, we died. Alexa had a seizure, and how very dare I convince us to go on this stupid boat and this stupid scuba diving where no one's gonna help us, for Alexa to have a seizure and she's gonna die. I'm just gonna die in the ocean. Okay, so that's how that went.
So I'm doggy paddling over to Shearly, and I'm like, Shearly, we're okay. We're gonna be okay. Like it's fine. It's just, we died. Last time we died. How are we? We're gonna die. We're in Colombia. No one's gonna save us here. I'm like on and on and on. And I'm like, it's okay. We're gonna die. She wouldn't shut up. So basically, I had to give her a hug, and that was the only thing that calmed this girl down. I could feel her like slowly start to like release her tension. I was just like, just shh. Okay, it's like, so now we're the two weirdos who are freaking out and hugging in the water, the experienced ones. Everyone else has never done this and barely knows how to swim.
Yep.
Yeah. But when we got down there, it was gorgeous.
It was beautiful.
It was like mountains. They were so, I mean, tall is a big word, deep, I guess. They were so deep that the mountains of coral reef and so many different types of fish. It was beautiful. It was incredible.
It was absolutely gorgeous. It was one of the prettiest experiences I've ever had. And we felt like mermaids because we were just going into these valleys and up through the mountains and then back into the valleys. And I felt like a mermaid. Yeah. That is the best way I can put it. I felt like an absolute mermaid. And all in my head I was thinking was, I want to be where the people are. Like I was singing in my head. Because it's so quiet. You don't hear anything but your own breathing. So you're just, it's quiet and you're able to really enjoy it. Yeah, there's nothing like it. And my heart rate, I feel like it, like for the first time in my life, I felt it really, truly relax. Like it was just, we were just going and we were swimming this time around with the current. So when you swim with the current, it means you don't actually have to battle to swim. Which is what it felt like last time.
Crazy, right?
Insane. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I could do this all day long. What? I love it. So that was like one of my favorite memories ever.
Okay. So Shaneck, yours is Thailand.
Yes.
Shearly, yours is probably Colombia, scuba diving up there.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I would say is probably up there for me is Iceland. Not
Iceland.
Not Iceland. Sorry, Sweden. Thank you.
I was gonna say what? Iceland.
I mean, Iceland's cool and all, but no,
it's cool. But
I think one of those other. There's very few times where you can hear like actual quiet. I feel, and we did. What was it called? Lava caving in Iceland, and at one point,
that was your favorite experience of Sweden? Was the lava caves or the Iceland lava caves? Hold on, because we went at lava caving in Iceland.
Yeah, definitely wasn't my favorite trip. Either way, that was pretty cool though. That it was one of those quiet moments. What made me think of this is what you said, where basically you have to wear headlamps and like literally crawl through these caves. Like claustrophobia, you have not felt it till you go into one of these caves. You don't fit, and yet somehow you fit. But basically, there was one moment in that cave where they told everyone to turn off their headlamps and all of their flashlights. And all you could hear was like the drips of the cave. Do you remember that, Shearly?
Yeah. Yep.
That was wild. It was a crazy experience. Yeah, but either way, Iceland was my favorite. It was definitely Sweden. Sweden was so cool. Sweden was awesome. We were dog sledding and were able to see reindeer and talk to people of the Sami Silda tribe and saw teepees and literally were, having fire pit conversations with them. It was awesome. It was incredible.
Yeah, but definitely I think the highlight of Sweden was definitely so we went to Sweden to do one thing. We actually went to Stockholm and we stayed in Stockholm for 2 days. And then we took the smallest plane you will ever find to a city. I don't even know where we landed. It was 200 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle. Okay, we're in the middle of December. It is the polar nights. The sun does not come up.
That was terrible.
Have you guys seen that girl on TikTok with Svalbard?
Yes.
That. Okay. If you haven't seen her, go look at her. You never see the street.
Today?
What?
Is that the one I sent you today? With her doing her laundry?
No.
That was crazy too. Okay.
Yeah, that was crazy. Mm-hmm. You can't see the street. It is like literally just snow. Like snow taller than my head in the sides of the street. People were skiing down the street.
They got around the city on skis.
Mm-hmm. On skis. And our little plane, who, by the way, if you go to New York and it snows, they cancel flights, okay? There's there's one frosty on the ground, flights canceled. We landed on a pile of snow. On a pile of snow. I can't even... And the thing was about it, that was insane to me. Well, okay, you guys can imagine this for a second. Our little plane landed in the smallest airport. This airport was the size of my house. In fact, I think my house is a little larger than the airport that we landed at. In a pile of snow. And Alexa and I had bought all of our things at Burlington in Florida.
So not meant for this. Quality.
So you guys can imagine, right? Our stuff is not set for the winter. And how I found out my boots were not winter boots. I didn't even know snow boots existed or waterproof stuff existed. No, I was wearing jeans. Okay. Yeah. And boots that you would wear in Florida when it's cold. So how I found out my boots were not the right boots for the situation was I landed on said pile of snow and there's no skyway to the airport. You land and there's a little stair and then you go down the stair with all of which at the time we were backpacking. So our boulder of crap. And we land on said pile of snow. And if you guys picture this, I took one step, I fell on my butt and it was so slippery. I basically slipped on my butt all the way down said pile of snow to the airport with Alexa screaming behind me, Shearly trying to hold on to so that I didn't die.
Yeah, this is true.
And the only thing we came here to do was we just want to go see the Northern Lights.
And we did. And it was beautiful.
And we did. And what was so cool about that was we did not at the time, it was 2 days in and we hadn't seen the Northern Lights. And we go to this ice hotel and the lady to take us dog sledding meets us at the ice hotel in Daiquiri, takes us dog sledding. And at this point we're we're not going to see the Northern Lights. It is what it is.
Yeah. We just kind of started prepping ourselves to not see it because we've been there for so long already. And people were telling us, oh, it's so rare. It's really hard to see. So we had already mentally gone there. With the whole, we might not see them. And it was very sad. But then when the lady picked us up to go dog sledding, we went and the whole time we were out there, the whole time we were on the frozen lake, the whole time we were sledding, we didn't see anything. On our way back, is when they started dancing, doing their show for us. And it was magic, pure magic.
Pure magic. And it was like 2 a.m.
Mhm.
at this point, and it was absolutely, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it was one of those moments where it was like, how do people just spend their whole lives going to Disney over and over again?
Oh my goodness. Says the one, by the way, that in her experience diving in Colombia, what came to mind, Shearly? A Disney song. So that was your words, not mine.
Iconic. No one says it's not. It's iconic, and you have to do it at least a couple times in your life. I think if you experience it with kids or through the eyes of kids is when it's that much more magical.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no doubt about it. There's magic in Disney. Is there magic every single year, 3 times a year? Maybe not. But there's magic in Disney.
There is.
And I will say one of my favorite Disney trips was actually in Shanghai, China.
Oh yeah.
Going to Shanghai Disney was pretty great. First of all, there was no one there.
Oh, that was
So
awesome. That's part of it.
We went on every ride in like 5 minutes flat. Like the Tron ride, people were just saying it's like you can go back on. And we don't have the Tron ride here in South Florida or in Florida.
We will.
We will, but we don't. And I went on this like 3 years ago.
But Chapac,
In what park?
It's supposed to be in Magic Kingdom right next to Space Mountain. They've been building it for a couple of years now. Obviously got delayed a little bit because COVID. And then our lovely new CEO has, just done a great job and keeping it going. Hear the sarcasm in my voice.
Yeah.
But soon enough, we will have it.
But what's cool about Shanghai was, like I said, there was no one there, which was awesome. But it was like just really, really high tech, beautiful, clean. Everything was completely brand new. I mean, it was just one of those experiences that it was like, it took Disney to kind of almost the next level for me. It was interesting seeing all of like the characters speak Chinese or, Cantonese or Mandarin or whatever they were speaking at the time. But it was really fun. So we actually went with a group of Americans to go to Disney, and for the fireworks show, we sat right near the castle. I don't know if it's the Cinderella Castle in China. I don't know. So we sat right near the castle, and it was so fun because all of the songs were in English.
Yes. It was the first time we had been hearing English all day, which was awesome. And people knew the song, but obviously not as well as we did.
Yeah.
So it was great because we finally had our moment of like, real Disney.
Real Disney. And we just started belting the songs. Like we were the group of like 6 or 7 Americans that had, by the way, we had like sneaked, I don't know, out of our tour, because we were in like a tour with like that was sponsored by the Chinese government, and we needed to like stay on schedule, and we like snuck out of
we basically told our tour guide, like, listen, we're gonna leave. You can know that we're leaving or pretend like you don't know that we're leaving, but in your next head count, you're not gonna have all of us. We're gonna go.
We're gonna
like,
go.
Oh, I wish you hadn't told me. And we're like, yeah, but we're gonna go.
We just wanted to make sure you didn't know that we were like, you weren't thinking that we were dead. So we're not dead. We're just not here. Okay, bye.
We're just going to Disney. Bye.
And
there are definitely 2 Disney parks that I need to go to. And it's Shanghai Disney because of all the high tech.
Yeah.
And Tokyo Disney Sea.
Tokyo. Why Tokyo?
Have you guys seen any videos at all of Tokyo Disney Sea?
One.
It does not look like a Disney park at all. It's like completely different.
Really?
You're like transported into an entirely different world. There's no castle or anything like that. I mean, I think they have like a Magic Kingdom there too, but actual Tokyo Disney Sea is incredible. You guys need to go see a video of this place.
I will search it on TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok is the place where you find everything.
Yeah.
Tokyo Disney Sea.
Yes.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, no, I haven't really even heard much hype around it.
Yeah, me neither.
But
I feel like not a lot of people know that that's there unless you're like a true Disney fan. But really, it's like a whole nother world.
Yeah.
I mean, the only castle I would want to go see is like the Paris one, just because I know like they try to make that one so fantastical because there are so many castles in France that they were trying to go all out with that one.
And the only one who thinks the Shanghai castle is better than the Paris one.
I don't know. I haven't seen the Paris one. So I don't know. I mean, I'll say this. I think the most incredible experience was actually walking up to Neuschwanstein and seeing the real Cinderella castle. Like
cool.
Castles.
Being in France and going to Disney World. Like it's just, there's so many more things I need to do.
Which is why I've never been.
Yes.
You know, China was kind of cool, but like by the time that we were done with it, we were done with it.
Oh yeah.
We had been there long enough. We all got sick because of the smog. Like we're hacking. It was not cute. And it was like, okay, I'm ready. You know what? We came back, you guys, and like the first thing I ate was Chinese food.
Yeah.
American Chinese food.
American Chinese food hits different. Which we'd probably cancel for saying. Exactly.
Horrible. It's horrible. Yeah. But with that said, it's time for the weekend. I'll go to Disney. I'll let you guys know in the next episode how it went.
You have to let us know.
Yeah. So
you're gonna come back a Disney fan. You're gonna be in love.
We'll see what happens. Subscribe, follow us, and cheers. Happy weekend.
See you next time.